Good morning, everyone, honorable guests, esteemed speakers, and distinguished participants. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to day 2 of National Workshop on API Testing Essentials organized by MIT Coding Club. So now let's take this session forward today, and may I please invite Dr. Dinesh Sharma to take over the workshop.
Ayushi, I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you, Ayushi and Saloni. Uh, so without taking much time, now I am starting today's session. Okay. And today's session, I will explain you about the Postman, or what is Postman, why Postman, and how we can create API, and how we can test API with the help of Postman, and what is collection, and what is use of collection, and how we can create collection in Postman. So these all things I will explain you in today session. So first I will explain you basically what is Postman. Basically, Postman is a API testing tool. Okay, many other API testing tools are also available, but Postman is very easy and user friendly. Okay. This is the reason most of the developers are using Postman for API testing. Okay. Now, what is Postman? Postman is a scalable API testing tool that quickly integrated into CI/CD pipeline. It started in 2012 as a side project by Avinav Asthana to simplify API workflow in testing and development. API stands for Application Programming Interface, which allows software application to communicate with each other via API. Okay. Now I am taking one example of API. Okay, what is how API is useful in software development? Suppose you want to integrate uh, weather forecast in your application. Either you are developing web application, you are developing mobile application. Okay, so any kind of application if you are developing and you want to integrate the weather forecast tools, or you can say module in your application, or you want to integrate in weather forecast application in your application or mobile application, how you can integrate? You can integrate with the help of API. Okay, you can simply copy the API and you can paste in your application. That API will perfectly work. Okay, so API is how many API at present? API is only one. Okay, but in how many places you are integrating API? You are integrating API in multiple places. Like you are integrating API in your web application. You are integrating in your API. You are integrating API in your mobile application. Okay, so anywhere you can integrate same API. Okay, you are not creating multiple API for multiple devices for multiple application like mobile app and web app. Clear? This is the reason API is most important in case of software development. So from your mobile application, you can easily call the API. From your web application, you can also easily call your API. Why? Creating a dedicated testing environment. Why Postman is necessary? So creating a dedicated testing environment, Postman lets users store value in variable at the environment variable level, which can be used any request URL, header, and body. This allows user to run automated API test in a dedicated testing environment before deploying code to production. Okay. Now I am explaining you in a simple way why API testing, or why Postman is necessary. Suppose you are inserting data in database with the help of front end. Okay, like you are entering detail in registration form. After that, you are clicking on the save button. Okay, when you are clicking on the save button, that time error is coming. Your connection is failed. Okay, your data is not inserting in database. Okay, so multiple types of errors can come. Now you are thinking why this error is coming, why my application or my API is not working perfectly. Okay, so before hosting your application or before publishing your application on the web server, first you have to check all the things which you are using in your software or in your application, okay, that all things are working perfectly or not. So how you can check? The most first thing you have to check, which is API, because with the help of API you are inserting data in database, you are deleting data from database, you are searching data in database, and you are also updating data in database. So these four important features, or these four important operation, you are performing with the help of API. Okay, this is the reason API testing is most important before publishing application on the web server. Clear? So how you can check API before publishing on the web server? You can check with the help of Postman. You can request URL. Okay, you can check in header what kind of code is sorry, when you are when we are sending request from the client to server, then what kind of code is coming. Okay, what response is coming in body, what request is going from client to server. Okay, how many parameter we are passing from client to server. So all things we can check at client level. Okay, if we are using Postman for API testing. Now, this is the environment, or you can say that this is the home page of the Postman. Okay, we have many sections in Postman. Like you can see here, this is first new. Second is import. If you want to import any data set or any data, you can click on this import and you can import. Third is runner. Fourth is directly. If you want to create any directory, then you can select this option. Fifth, this is fifth option. Six, invite. Invite means as you know that when we are developing any project or any software, we cannot develop any application or any software alone. Okay, so every software is developed by a team or a group. Okay, so if you want to invite other friends or other team members, they can also test API in with the help of Postman. Okay, how you can invite your friends and your team members with the help of this invite option. Clear? Now 7 is history. If you want to check previous history in before 1 day, 2 days, and 3 days, what we have checked in our API. Okay, what we have parameter we have passed before 2 years, before 2 days, 3 days. Second is collection. Okay, collection is also most important part of Postman. Why I am saying collection is most important part of Postman? Because if we are working in a group, okay, then we must have to use the collection feature. But because in collection we can grow. We can integrate, or we can insert, or we can create group of multiple people, and anyone can test API at any time. Okay, it is not dependent that suppose I have created collection, so only I can test my API. No, if I am creating collection of 5 persons or 5 developers, okay, all 5 developers can test API at any time. Clear? This is the reason when we are developing project in a group, so that time we are creating collections. 9 is request. Okay, if you want to send request or you want to check request, we will use this option. 10th number is, this is here in in 10th number, you can see we have multiple methods like get, post, delete, update, multiple. So which method we want to use? Okay, we want to post get request, we want to post request. And in 11, in this portion we have to paste our URL. URL means your API link. Okay, suppose I have created my portfolio. My portfolio domain name is drdineshsharma.com. Okay, now if I want to insert any data in contact detail, okay, then how what URL I have to insert here? I have to insert URL drdineshsharma.com/contact. Okay, so your API URL you have to insert or you have to paste here. 12. Once you insert your API URL, after that you can save this if you want to save. Okay. In third, if you want to check parameter, which parameter you are sending or you are getting from the database or you are sending from client to server, you can click on this parameter option. Fourth is authorization. If you want to check authorization, you can click here. Fifth is header. Okay, what kind of code is coming in our header? So, client to server, you can check. And for next is test. Okay, so these options are available in your Postman. Okay, so it is also depends of our requirements. Okay, or our request, what kind of request we are sending from client to server, or what kind of request we are checking. We are checking get request. We are checking post request and other. Okay. Now here you can see details about all the option new there. This is the where we will create a new request collection or environment. Import. This is used to import a collection or environment. There are options such as import from file, folder, link, or paste raw text. Runner. Automation test can be executed through the collection runner. This will be the discussed for in the next section. After some time. Open a new tab. Postman window or runner window will by clicking this button. My workplace, you can create a new workspace individually or as a team. Okay. Now question is, what is use of workspace? Suppose this time I am sending request one with the help of URL one. Okay, so I am working in workspace. Now next time, if you want to send new request or you want to check new API, then I have to create a new workspace. It is not mandatory that you have to create new workspace. You can also check your new API in same workspace. But what will happen when we want to see the history of our API, what we have checked before 2 days now? Then in this case, if we are using same workspace for multiple API, we cannot check history of our previous API test. Clear? This is the reason for every API test, we will create a new workspace. Invite. Collaborate on a workspace by invite team members. If we want to invite our team members, we can invite with the help of invite link. History. Past requests that you have sent will be displayed in history. This make it easy to track action that you have done. Collection. Organize your test. So did by creating collection, each collection may have subfolders and multiple requests. A request or folder can also be a duplicate as well. Okay. Collections also have multiple features, like you can create multiple subfolder. Inside multiple subfolder, you can create multiple requests. Okay. Suppose in my API, I am sending request for I am checking request for inserting, updating, deleting, and updating. So how many type of requests I have to send? I have to send 4 requests. So for 4 requests, I will create 4 subfolder in collection. Now next is request tab. This display the title of the request. You are working by default untitled request. If we want to change the name, or if you want to give new name to your request, now you can give. Like you are sending insert request, then you can write here insert request. If you are sending update request, then you can write here update request. Okay, so it's up to you. You want to change the default name of request, or you want to use default request name. Next is HTTP request. Clicking this board display drop down list of different requests such as get, post, copy, delete. Okay. Now, how we are sending requests from client to server? We are sending requests from client to server with the help of HTTP protocol. Okay. So how many type of request, how many type of methods HTTP is using? HTTP using different type of methods like get, post, copy, delete, etc. In post API testing, the most commonly used requests are get and post. Okay. Request URL. Okay. Now request URL, this is the API URL. Okay. Which API you want to test? Okay. So if you want to test the insert API, you can put here insert URL. You want to check the search API, you can put here search API URL. Save. If you want to save your request, you can save params. This is the where you will write parameter need for request such as the key value. Okay. Now, if we are inserting data in database from front end, first what we have to do, we have to insert data. Insert data means we have to insert value in a text box. Clear? So we in case of Postman, we are not using front end. What we are using? We are using only API. So if we are using API, how we will check API? We will check API with the help of value. So in Postman, how we can insert value? We can insert value with the help of params, means parameters. Next is authorization. In order to access API, proper authorization is needed. It may be in form of the username and password barrier token. If we want to set username and password for checking API, you can also set in Postman. Okay. So why authorization is important in Postman? Suppose today you are checking your API, okay, and after some time, after 5 hours, now your friend is accessing your system, okay, and he is doing something. Suppose he have done some he have deleted some code or something. उसने क्या कहते हैं कुछ कोड को डिलीट कर दिया, तो उससे क्या होगा? When next time we are opening our API, na, that time we will confuse. Now what is happening? Why my API is not working perfectly? In morning time it is working perfectly. So we can put the authorization on our API like username and password. So when we will insert the username and password, now after that we can check our API. Headers. You can set headers such as the content type JSON depending on the need of the organization. Okay. Now, what is the use of header section? Header section is very important. What kind of code we want to see in header section? We have multiple types, multiple options, like we have JSON type, we have text type. Okay. So what kind of, in which form we want to see our content? We want to see our content in JSON format. We want to see our content in text format. It is up to you. So we can easily set. How we will set, we will see. Next is body. This is where one can customize detail in a request, commonly used in post request. Pre-request script. These are the scripts that we will execute before the request. Usually pre-request scripts for the setting environment are used to ensure that test will be run in the correct environment. And next is test. These are the script to execute during the request. Now we will start testing of our API with the help of get request. Clear? So how we will check our API? I am using this URL, JSON placeholder.tpcode.com users. Okay. In this URL, first I will send get request. After this, I will send post request. Yeah. So how we will send? First, we will copy this. Okay. Now I'm just a minute. Now I'm stopping my screen, and again I will share because I will give you live demo. So now you can see how you first how you have to download the Postman. Okay, so you can simply open your Google. Okay, after that you can write here Google Postman download. Now you can see the first link. Okay, which is download Postman. Now you can click on this link. Here option is coming. You want to download Postman for Windows 64-bit. If your system is 64-bit and you are using Windows platform, you can click on this link and your Postman tools will download. Okay. Now, how your Postman tool will look like? You can see this one. This is the home window of our Postman tool. Okay. Now here you can see all the options which I have explained you in PPT. Clear? So this is the URL. Okay. And what we are doing, we are using GET request. Clear? Now all things, if you want to see, you can. Now again, I am going on the on my PPT. After that, I will explain you live demo. Okay, this one, working with GET request. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to take URL. You can take any URL which you want to test, or you can take any API URL which you want to test in Postman. Okay. So you can copy URL and paste in a URL section, and near URL section we have the methods. So you can set your method. You want to send GET request, or post request, or any other request. Okay. Set your HTTP request to GET. In the request URL field, input field, link, click send. You will see 200 OK message. Okay. Suppose you are selecting GET request, and after that you are pasting your API URL, and when you are clicking on the send now, and after that when 200 OK option is coming, it means your API is working perfectly. Okay, and your data will display in a header, in a body section. Here you can see here. We are using GET request, and we are putting this URL, and we are selecting params, and after that body. Okay, and in this body you can see all the data is fetching from this API location. Okay, and here status is coming 200 OK. It means API is working perfectly. Okay, here is option if not here OK is not coming now, it means our API is not working perfectly, and we are doing any mistake in our API. Working with post request. Okay, so post requests are different from GET request. There is a data manipulation with the user adding data to the endpoint. Suppose if you want to check that with the help of your API, data is inserting in database or not. Okay. So in this case, you can use the post request. Here you can select the post request, and yes, you can select post request, and you can put here URL, and after that you can select body. In this body, okay, you have option here text. Okay, means content type option. So which content type option you want to select? Suppose I want to select a JSON. Okay, so here I am selecting JSON. Now we have which data we want to insert. Okay, suppose I want to insert a user data. So user data I have to write in the form of JSON file. Okay, you can see here in this form we have to write data. Clear? Now we will click on the send option. So once we click on send option, now you can see here 201 created, means we have already 200 user in our database. So what we are doing, we are inserting 201 user. So if our API is working perfectly, our what code we are writing is also working perfectly. In this case, in status 201 created message will come, means 201 user is created successfully. Now, next is how to parameterize request. Okay. Suppose you want to send a parameter with our request. Okay. So how you can send? If you want to send a parameter, we have to take our URL in a curly braces. You can see here, this one. If we want to use parameterized request, we must have to take our URL in these curly braces. You can see here. Now let's create the parameter. Now question is how you will create the parameterized get request. Okay. So set your HTTP request to get and paste this link in your URL. Okay. Replace the first part of the link with a parameter such as URL. Here, how many parts we are using? We are using two parts. First is HTTPS JSON placeholder dot typecode.com. Second is users. Okay. So this first part HTTPS JSON placeholder dot typecode.com we will take in this curly braces, and next part users we will take after slash, and after this we will click on send button. When we will click on when we are clicking on send button, now then this message is coming, could not get any response. Okay. So why this message is not coming? Sorry, why this message is coming? Because we are not created parameters. Okay. So how we will create? To use the parameter, we need to set the environment. Click the eye icon. Click edit to see the variable to a global environment which can be used in all collection. So here you can see. Here is the eye option. We will click on this add option. Okay. And in variable, set the name to URL. In this portion, in variable, we will select URL, and initial value we will put here the our API URL. Okay. And we will click on this save option. Okay. After that, close window. And after that, again, we will send request. Okay. Now you can see the status is coming okay. It means what parameter we are sending is working perfectly. Now how to create a Postman test? Okay. Postman tests are JavaScript code added to requests that help you verify result such as successful or failed status, comparison of expected result, etc. It usually starts with pm.test. It can be compared to assert, verify command available, and other tools. Let's do some basic API testing using Postman of our parameterized request from the previous session. So how we will create the Postman test? Go to the your get user request from the previous uh, uh, with the help of previous slide. Switch to the test tab on the right side of the script code. From the script section, click on the status code. Code is 200. The pen is auto populated. You can see here. Here we are inserting our URL. Okay, which request we are using? We are using parameterized request. So how we can identify that we are using parameterized request? If we are inserting our URL in the curly braces now, it means we are using parameterized request. So we are for this we are using this function pm.test. Here we are writing status code is this is the text, or you can say string. If our API is working perfectly now, then this message will come. Test code is 200. Okay. Function pm.response to have status 200. We will select test. Okay. Now you can see. Okay. If after that we will click on this send button, and you can see pass. Pass means API is perfect. No error is coming from the API side. Okay. So you can see a pass message is coming, and also what message we are setting in this test function. We are setting message status code is 200. So this message is also, this string is also displaying in your test result section. If you want to check, if you want to put other things, now you can also put. Now, next is collection. How you will create collection? Okay, because I already explained you what is the need of collection. Uh, if you want to work in a group, okay, and you want to check, anyone want to check API. So how you can create group? You can create a group with the help of collections. You can see here collection play an important role in organizing test shoots. It can be imported and exported, making it easy to share collection among the team. How you will create collection? Click on the new button tab at the top left corner of the page. Here you can, when you are clicking on the new now, you can see here collection option is coming. Okay. After that, this uh, text box is coming, so you can write your collection name here. After that, you can click on this create option. Now, if you want to share collection with other users, now you can click on this share option. Okay, and go to the previous. Now we have to set the get request, and we will paste here our URL and click on send button. Okay, when we will click on the send button, the Postman test collection. Here what we are doing, we are checking or we are saving our collection. Postman text collection should now contain one request. Okay, so we will when we are clicking on this send button now, then in this case we will also see that any request is going with the help of collection or not. If it is step 4 and 5 of the previous post request, so the collection will now have two requests. In collection, we can send multiple requests like request 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and all requests you can see. How to run collection using the collection runner? So how you can run? You have here the runner option. So you can select your collection. You can click on this runner option. In this case, your collection will execute. Okay, you have multiple field in the collection runner, like environment, which environment you want to use, number of iteration. Suppose you want to want 1 iteration, 2 iteration, 4 iteration. Now, how much delay you want between all the iterations, like 5 second, 10 second, or 1 minute, 5 minute. Okay, log. You can also set here log response. Okay. I think most of you don't know about the logs. Okay, if we are developing any application in any programming language, log is most important part. Okay, with the help of log, we can check uh, we can check our request, okay, or our data at any point of time. Okay, in our source code, like line number 5. If we are writing log dot we are in log, we have multiple methods. Okay, so we want to check response log dot response, then response will come, what response is coming. Okay, we want to check request is going or not, or data is displaying or not, or value is coming or not. So everything we can check in every line in our source code with the help of log. Okay, so if you are new in software development, you must learn about the log. Okay, so here we have selected number of iteration 3, set delete 2500 microseconds. Okay, and we will run our collection. So you can see here how many requests are passed. 6. How many failed? 0. If passed, status code is coming 200. Clear? So in this way, we can check all the collection requests in single time, in a single time. Okay, now I will explain you how you can create API. Clear? So we have two options for creating API. First is we want to create API in our local system, or we want to create API in our uh, hosting server. Okay. So if you have purchases, if you have purchased hosting from remote server, then you can directly create API in our hosting server. But if you are creating API in our local system, then you can use any tools. Like you can use Notepad++, you can use VS Code, you can use Visual Studio, any other tool, any tool you can use for creating API. Okay. Now question is, uh, what language we will use for API? Okay, it is up to you which language you know. Okay, suppose I know PHP, Java programming, and Node.js. Okay, I know three languages. So now it is up to me that in which language I want to create API. Okay. So according to me, PHP is a very easy programming, script programming language. Okay, so I will select PHP for creating API. If you are thinking that if you are creating API in PHP, then this API you cannot use in your Android mobile app or your iOS mobile app. No, you can create API in any with the help of any programming language. Okay, and that API you can access in your any application and in any platform. It is not necessary that if you are creating API in one language, then this API you cannot use in other programming, other language software or other platform. Clear? API you can create in any language in any platform, and you can use in any other language in any platform or any other software. So I think this concept is clear. Next, how you will create. Basically, I am using my hosting server. Okay, I have already taken hosting space in Hosting Raja. Multiple companies are providing domain and hosting web space. Okay, it is up to you from which company you want to take hosting space or domain name. So how you will create API in hosting server? Okay, if you want to create in your local server, what you can do, you can directly open your Notepad++. You can see here. Okay, I have already created multiple APIs. So basically, in this code, you can see what is API. API is nothing but a code through which you want to connect with your server, means with your web server and with your database server. Okay, because where you have to insert data, from which from where you have to fetch data. Okay, you have to fetch data, you have to insert data in database. Clear? So for this we have to write code, and where we have to write code, we have to write code in our API. Clear? So if we are writing code for insertion data, for deletion data, for searching data, for updating data, it means what we are doing, we are creating API. Or you can also call this the bridge or interface between the client and database, because where first request is coming, first request or first data is coming on this API, and this API is sending data to the database. Okay, and how, suppose user want to fetch data. So first request is coming on this API. This API sending request to the server. Server again sending response to this API, and this API again sending a response to the client. So basically API is working as a interface or bridge between a client and a server. Clear? So what code we have to write in this API? We have first we have to write just a minute. Yeah, you can say here when we are creating API now, first we have to write server information like server name, username, password name, and database name. Okay, how we will connect with database? If we want to connect with database server now, we must know the name of the database server. We must know the username and password means authentication information of database server, and we must know the database name in which we are inserting data, we are updating data, we are deleting data, and we are searching data. Clear? So these four things are mandatory, which have to put in our API code or API file. Okay. In PHP, PHP is a simple scripting programming language. Okay. So why PHP is a simple scripting programming language? Because in PHP is providing multiple predefined functions for connecting with database, for executing our command. Okay. For each and everything, PHP is providing predefined or built-in function. Okay. So here I am using MySQL_connect predefined function for connecting with our database. Okay. So what parameter we have to put in this MySQLi_connect function? We have to put all these four parameters like server name, username, password, database name. You can see. Okay. Participants, if you are new in development and you are creating API first time, okay, then after every step you have to check that after every line you have to check that this line is working perfectly or not. Okay, so how you can check? You can simply put the if condition. Here I am checking that my connection is establishing with database server or not. So how I can check? I can check with the help of if condition. Inside if I am putting this connection variable, okay, if this function is working perfectly, okay, then this function will return true value. If this function is returning true value, it means no problem is coming and our connection is successful. So if if in this connection variable, if true value is coming, then this message will display in your browser window. Clear? Okay. Now here I am using only one parameter. Okay. Which parameter I am using? I am using moisture percentage parameter, and I am using get method. Okay. So which request I am sending? I am sending get request from my API to database server. Clear? Now after this, I am writing here insert command. Insert into moisture data. Moisture data is my table name. Okay. And in moisture data, I have humidity column. Inside this humidity column, I am inserting this humidity value. Okay. So how I will execute this query or this command? I am executing this query and command with the help of MySQL and I_query. Okay. A function. Inside this, I am passing this connection variable and this command. Now, why I'm passing here this connection variable? Because this connection variable is uh, providing information that this query will execute on this connection. As you know, multiple users can create multiple database in database server. Okay. Suppose, so how database server will understand that your query have to connect on connection 1, connection 2, or database 1, database 2. Okay. With the help of this variable. So this basically, this variable is indicating that this query have to execute on this connection. Now again, I am checking with if condition that my query is executing is successfully or not. With the help of if, inside if I am passing this variable, if this variable if this function is returning true value, it means data inserted successfully, and here I am displaying matching record inserted successfully. So students, in this way you can create your API. Okay. Now how you can check your API with the help of Postman? You can simply take the you can simply take the URL of your API and paste in this URL option, and also check in your API which method you are using. You are using get, you are sending get request or post. Okay, so same you have to take in Postman. Okay, after that, now how many parameter I am sending from my API to database server? Only one. So what I have to do? I have to select this parameter and I will write here. Suppose my column name is moisture. I can write here value. I can write here value 29. Okay, you can say here moisture is column name and your value 20 is coming. Now you can check. I am not write here my URL now. This is the reason error will come. Okay, nothing is coming. Why? Because I have not pasted here any URL. Okay, so if you want to check your request or your parameter which you are passing with the help of API from API to database server. Okay, how you can check? You can check this param tab here. So if you have any other question, you can write, send me mail, and I will upload it all the PPTs. Okay, and all the things are present in my PPT from starting to end. So now IC and Saloni. Now I have covered all the things. Okay, so now we can stop.
Okay, can I end the session, sir?
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you, sir.